Alrighty, guys, welcome in to the recap. So, absolutely crazy expansion day. Who here capitalized on the expansion? I'm seeing a couple people did. Mumu, Sassy, Saturo, all you guys killed it. Good fucking shit. Let's go. All right, well, without wasting any of you guys' time, let's get right into it. So, in yesterday's recap, I told you guys that the target was going to be the previous week low on ES while we were up here because yesterday the weekly profile suggested lower, right? The reason why it suggested lower is because we had an S&T divergence up here, right? Above the previous week high. And what did we want to see for a bearish weekly profile? We obviously want to see an SMT. We obviously want the SMT to be occurring in a higher time frame key level. And if I go to the daily chart and bring your attention to the daily chart, you'll see that we tapped into a daily volume imbalance over here from July 24th or July 15th of this year. So we tapped into that daily volume imbalance yesterday. And that's why I was bearish yesterday and why I was bearish for the rest of the week. I told you guys in yesterday's recap again, and we ended up just selling off overnight. So the daily profile today, combined with the fact that the weekly profile was a bearish weekly profile, which was a midweek reversal weekly profile because of the SMT occurring in a higher time frame PD array and a change in the state of delivery out of that daily volume imbalance. So you guys see that right there? Change in the state of delivery right there out of that daily POI. What do I always tell you guys? You want to look at the 1 hour CISD out of a daily POI, and we got that. And that was the high of week. And that's why I was bearish going into today. So you could see that Asia, yeah, and this is also a 1 hour unicorn, correct? Yep, this is also a 1 hour unicorn. So in Asia, when we opened at 1800, or today's daily candle, when we opened today, we gapped down and we took out this sell side that I wanted to see. Actually, I wanted to see it. I wanted to see them save it. But again, the algorithm, when it's in a rush, it's in a rush. It'll go and just expand way lower like it did today. And you can see that ES ended up taking all the sell side over here to the left and leaving perfect equal lows for the morning. But the daily profile today was an Asian smart money reversal and London, New York continuation. So a classic sell day. Today was a classic sell day. And usually what happens with NFP, because like the NFP protocol is kind of different in each quarter from what I'm seeing, because usually like in quarter 2 and quarter 3 of this year, they would leave, like, for example, these equal lows, they would have left it in quarter 2 and quarter 3. The reason why I ended up trading today on ES is because, again, we had perfect equal lows, and I'll go into why I took the trade where I took it, which was this one right here. But the reason why I ended up trading today was because last NFP, which was last month's NFP, or this month's NFP, October's, we actually had the same idea. We were talking about how NFP was going to leave these lows, or they were going to leave some sort of sell side, but they ended up taking and expanding on Thursday. So I didn't want to miss an opportunity today. So I ended up trying the exact same framework that I teach you guys. I mean, it's the same exact framework that I didn't do anything new or anything like that. It's the same exact framework. But again, daily profile, Asian smart money reversal. We reacted off a 1 hour fair value gap, as you guys can see there. And the previous week low was going to be the target on ES and NQ. Now, if I go to the 5 minute, again, using time frame alignment, we'll look at the sweep of liquidity there, the internal sweep right there on NQ and ES. And you'll see that we end up getting a 5 minute change in the state of delivery here during the Asia session in what? A 1 hour POI. So you could have caught the high of day up here if you decided to trade Asia session and put a stop loss like up here at the wick of the daily candle. If you wanted to, I don't really trade Asia session, but sometimes, you know, when a good opportunity pops up like this, you can capitalize on it and hold into London and New York, especially if the weekly profile is agreeing with you, which it did here. So we ended up getting an internal sweep there into that 1 hour fair value gap, 5 minute change in the state of delivery. And then you can see what happened here going into London. And then early hours of New York session, we ended up retracing into what? Let's just keep it simple, right? We ended up retracing into what? A bunch of 1 hour fair value gaps, right? Now, if I take my fib from the current daily high to the London low, you'll see we come into OTE of this displacement range, right? From the current high of day to the current low of day. Let's pretend that this never happened or that this hasn't happened yet, right? We come into OTE of this displacement range, and you can see 8 o'clock closing, and now we have a 1 hour CRT. So candle range, we're using this candle range here. We have a 1 hour CRT, right? We're tapping into 1 hour fair value gaps. What do I want to look for on the 5-minute time frame? Can anybody answer that? What do I want to look for in the 5-minute time frame? You guys better be, yes, CISD. There you go. Using time frame alignment. And now the CRT is just extra confluence on top of my bearish analysis, right? Same thing over here on ES. We left perfect equal lows. And if anybody does not know this video is going up on YouTube, by the way, guys. But if nobody knows this, because I don't see really anybody talking about this, which is really weird. ES equal lows, when it has spaced out equal lows like this, not the stupid little tweezer equal highs and equal lows that a lot of these fucking 1-minute traders talk about, like the really close equal lows. I'm talking about the spaced out perfect equal lows like we did here. ES has way more weight than NQ when it forms equal lows like this, because ES is a lot more like robotic. It's a lot more algorithmic, so it has a lot more weight towards it, right, with these equal lows. So you could see that we left perfect equal lows here at the previous week low. And we're tapping into 1 hour POIs. So I want to go to the 5-minute. I want to look for my CISD on the 5-minute. And it was a lot cleaner on ES. And that's why I ended up taking a trade on ES, because the perfect equal lows, it was a lot cleaner on ES. And yeah, that's why I ended up taking a trade here on ES. So you could see here, we tap into the 1 hour POI over here on the left. And then we change delivery. As soon as this body candle closes below the opening price of this up close candle here, right, in the series of up close candles that are tapping into that 1 hour POI, that is my change in the state of delivery. So I ended up getting in on the 850 macro here, right there. And then I ended up just putting my stop loss above this high in case 930 wanted to manipulate higher. I don't usually trade pre-market, but this trade looked pretty good. And I was looking at the weekly high in the weekly profile, and it was suggesting lower prices. And again, on top of that, we had perfect equal lows. So I got the exact same framework, and you got the exact same framework over here on NQ. Again, the 1 hour CRT was just bonus confluence. And again, what do we teach here? What do we teach within the Discord with the 3-candle model? When you have a confirmed candle range like this, right, and it closes within this candle's range, we want the next candle, the 3rd candle or the 4th candle, to open higher, okay? We want it to open higher first, and that's exactly what 9 o'clock did. Right? We actually opened higher right here. Where's 9 o'clock? So 9 o'clock opened higher, and it tapped the CISD perfectly right there. And it tapped it multiple times. You can see how the bodies and the wicks are just respecting the opening price of this candle here. Right? And why? Because this is the series of up close candles, and this is the first one. Once we close a body below the opening price of this candle here, you're good to go. That's your confirmation. But it has to happen out of a 1 hour POI. That's why time frame alignment is so important. And CRT can be used for bias, and then you just combine it with your higher time frame draw. And then, I mean, I just ended up shorting right here, and I got out at the previous week low right there. Again, perfect equal lows smashed, and then you could see, I mean, what happened for the rest of the day, which is just an absolute trend day, because the daily profile was a classic sell day. It was an Asian smart money reversal, London and New York continuation. Again, the same logic, because in that daily profile video that I uploaded onto the WAP and onto YouTube, that same logic that I talk about, because I always frame them as like London Judas or London reversal or whatever it is, you can apply that same logic to the Asia session if it makes sense, right? If the Asia session is tapping into some sort of POI and it makes sense, then that's going to be your true high of day. And that's exactly what happened today. So you could see how I combine the daily profile, the weekly profile, and just the same framework that I use. It's literally higher time frame first, context and logic first, and then entry model comes last. That's literally, like, everybody learns it differently. Everybody learns it backwards, actually. Everybody learns the entry model first, and then all the higher time frame stuff later, which is, you got to learn it backwards. You got to go higher time frame first, and then entry model last, right? So that was pretty much the recap of the day. And also one little cool thing also from last week, I think it was last Tuesday. I told you guys we also had like a big trend day, a big sell day on Tuesday of last week. And I told you guys, usually when we have a big sell day, the last 90 minutes of the day will provide some sort of retracement. So if you couldn't get on side with this sell today, like if you didn't get any sell opportunities or you felt like it was chasing, you could wait for the last 90 minutes. Usually, not always, but usually we'll get some sort of retracement, and that's exactly what happened here. You could see the last 90 minutes here from 2:30 to 4, we ended up getting a nice pop up to these relative equal highs right here on NQ. Same thing on ES right here, ended up sweeping that high right there, and then immediately dumping for The last macro here of the day, the 350 to 410, but you can see immediately after it sweeps it, boom, right back down. So that would have been your TP there. So yeah, guys, that was the recap there, and pretty quick one, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a really solid day, and anybody who participated today made a lot of money, and it looks like all of you guys pretty much did. So yeah, yep, CJ also mentioned that it was also a 1 hour. Oh, this one down here, yeah, it was a 1 hour CRT as well. We ended up sweeping the low right here on this candle. So this candle was our range, sweeping the low, and then this candle ended up hitting this high right here, completing the CRT there on the 1 hour. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow, again, I'm expecting the October 2nd lows to get hit on ES. We have very nice liquidity here, a very nice liquidity pool here on ES and NQ as well. So I'm expecting maybe a pop up for NFP and then back down, but I'm for sure betting on October 2nd lows to get taken here on ES. And that's been my previous week low was my weekly objective, but now that we've been displacing through all of these lows, I'm betting on October 2nd lows for tomorrow. So they could take it overnight. They could take it for NFP. But if they end up taking it tomorrow, like if we end up getting that daily profile of like the PO3, like the AMD daily profile, where we just consolidate in Asia and London, and then 830 manipulates lower, then we push up, take out these highs, right, for NFP, that would be fire. I think that is what most likely may happen tomorrow. But yeah, we also had, I think, Apple and Amazon earnings today, but I think that's what ends up happening tomorrow. But yeah, does anybody have any questions so far or anything? I wanted to do a very quick recap. It isn't going to be a super long one because it was a very simple day, just classic sell day, classic expansion day. Again, we usually have like 2 to 3 expansion days every single week, and it's your job to try and find those expansion days and when will they occur. And the best way to do it is by using daily profiles. Like daily profiles are going to be the game changer that you guys need. Can I ask a question about the open and closes? Sure, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Ask away. Let me know, man. See what CJ asks. All right, man. I have a problem with identifying if open lower or higher. Okay, let's see. Which time frame you look at. So it just depends, right? I can't give like a cookie cutter answer to that. It's just going to depend on like where you're at in the chart, what you're looking at, what's the narrative, what's the daily profile, etc. It's just going to depend, bro. Like, for example, right? Like here at 2 o'clock, we all know 2 o'clock is the key time, right? So we want obviously 2 o'clock to open lower to sweep these relative equal lows here on the 1 hour, right? That's what we obviously want at 2 o'clock. That's a key time, right? So what I would be looking at, CJ, is I'd just be looking at the 1 hour and seeing how it closes, right? So 2 o'clock, this is the new 4 hour candle opening, the new 1 hour, the new 15 minute, the new 5 minute, the new 1 minute, the new 30 minute. It's literally the new candle opening for a lot of time frames, right? Especially the 4 hours, very important. So we open low, we sweep liquidity, right? So since we're opening lower at 2 p.m., which is a key time, at 2 p.m. it's key time, right? We're opening lower, we're sweeping liquidity. Now we want to go to like the 5 minute and look for some sort of sign of reversal, right? So 2 o'clock open here. We obviously just accumulate for a little bit, and then we get a nice pop up, changing delivery right there. As soon as this candle closes above the opening price of this candle, that swept liquidity here, we end up getting a change in delivery. And then you could start zooming into your lower time frames, trying to find an entry up to these to this buy side here. So just use time frame alignment with the open low high closes and the open high low closes. So yeah, exactly. NATO said I like pairing time with that, like 2 equals 4 hour candle open, exactly. Open higher into the CISD. Like I said, I can't give you a cookie cutter answer. It just depends on like where you're at on the chart, what time it is, how that time's opening, what's it opening into. That's the very important part. Is it sweeping anything, etc. Right? It just depends. Every single day, it just depends on where it's at. So CISD is only relevant if you sweep liquidity. Yes, you have to have a sweep of liquidity on for a CISD. It's best if it sweeps liquidity or if it's tapping into your time frame alignment POI. But those form, yeah, exactly what NATO said. Those form the highest probability order blocks. Okay. So you can't just use a C. That's why, like yesterday, remember guys, yesterday how we took that CISD over here for that little scalp up here on NQ. Like, check this out, right? So we ended up sweeping liquidity, but this was the wrong CISD to capitalize on, right? This one right here, this 5 minute. Why was this the wrong CISD to capitalize on? This one right here. Why was this one? You guys answered it yesterday, so I expect you guys to get this right away. Why was this one, this bullish one, the wrong one to capitalize on? Right? Why was this one the wrong one? No higher time from PD array sponsoring the CISD, sponsoring that change in delivery, right? It's exactly right. Up here, we had a fair value gap on the 1 hour. It tapped into it, it swept liquidity, and we changed delivery there. And we also had a big bearish SMT up here with ES because ES ended up sweeping the London highs and NQ did not. NQ was the weaker one. So this CISD didn't hold as much weight as this one did because this one wasn't sponsored by anything besides a 5 minute BPR, right? It wasn't sponsored by anything. This one up here was sponsored actually by a 1 hour fair value gap. So this one makes a lot more sense. It holds more weight than this one, right? So yeah. Can I get feedback on the trade I took, bro? Yeah, bro. Of course. Send it in. Send it in, brother. All right, let's see. Chewy. Let's see, my boy Chewy. All right, so this was... Okay, so it looks like you're looking for a unicorn, right? Thank you, Johnny, for explaining it. I overcomplicated it in my head a lot. Hey, no problem, CJ. I got you, bro. That's what I'm here for. All right, so Chewy was looking for a unicorn here. Again, Chewy, this looks like you're going for lower prices. And the thing about that is you're trying to short after every like sell side liquidity, like every main objective for the day has been taken. So you got to be very careful about that. Like I like the idea. I like the idea you had here. Unfortunately, it was the wrong idea because, again, you're trying to short at around a key time where we could retrace or pull back, especially on a day like this where we've just been selling off all day. You would expect some sort of accumulation or some sort of pullback into the current daily range once we've taken all the sell side objectives like we did today. So the short here was not a good move. I would have been looking for longs up to these little internal relative equal highs here on NQ. But I see the idea that you were going for. And also, this isn't your breaker block. It would be this one right here. Remember, it's always the last down close candle. If you're looking at a bearish one, it's this one right here. Right? So that would be your breaker. I think you were marking out this one over here. It would actually be this one right here. Right? That would be your breaker block right there. And then the fair value gap overlap. So yeah, this was a valid unicorn and it worked out for a little bit, but again, we had the draw up here. Okay. So yeah, does anybody have any more questions? Yes, sir. No problem, Chewy. Doesn't look like anybody has any more questions. Well, we will be going live for NFP tomorrow. I'll be going live at around 9:20 to 9:25 in the morning. But I will catch everybody tomorrow. And again, this recap is going to go up on YouTube, but I'll go ahead and post it on the WAP too. So that way, if you guys don't watch the YouTube or whatever, you guys can watch it on WAP. But yeah, I appreciate everybody pulling up. Appreciate everybody trying to learn, hungry, and I appreciate everybody just, being here. So catch you guys tomorrow morning for NFP live, and hopefully tomorrow's a good one. But yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Yes, sir. Peace.